moving on, we're going to go to the next question. And that next question is, what are the stages of the twin flame journey? I was doing research online, and the stages that they have are the awakening stage, the attraction, which is that push and pull. Actually, no, I'm lying. These are my own stages. These are the stages that I went through. If you go on Google, they have like a list of all this stuff. And this is, I can kind of relate to those stages, but I feel like my stages, I have labels for them myself because this is what I personally feel like I experienced. I experienced the awakening. That's when the weird heart chakra opening, the storm, the spirit, that entity coming down into me that one night, an awakening happened. Then there was an attraction phase. Once I realized, okay, this has something to do with this person, there was an attraction. There's like a push pull game going on between us. Then there was limerence. Once I left, I could not get him out of my mind. No matter what, my mind would always go back to him. It was just really hard to shake him. It took years and years of just really immersing myself in my life and trying to forget him. And then there happens the separation. So limerence and separation happened around the same time. I had limerence for him when we were still in each other's lives, I guess you could say. And then during separation, I still had some limerence for him, but I was trying to work through that and like cut that off. Then there was separation and detachment. And I'm kind of at the separation and detachment mode because even though I occasionally think about him, I'm not, it's not the obsessive love type stuff. And also, part of me believes that when I start thinking about him, that means he's thinking about me. Because I think the two are intertwined, especially if I'm not purposefully trying to think about this guy. Like sometimes his name will drop into my mind and I think, okay, maybe he's thinking about me, because I've had this experience before where our first big separation, where he was not in my life anymore, came a point in time where I felt like I was being bombarded with his name in my head and I couldn't shut it off. One night I was in my apartment. I was like, oh my God, why can't I stop thinking about this guy? Like, I'm not doing this. Like, I feel like I wasn't doing it. It was like attacking my brain, his name. And then the next day I run into him. So I do think that it could be a sign that maybe he's sending me energy and I'm just picking up on that. So I don't fight it anymore. It is what it is. But this happens not only with my twin flame, this happens with other people now because I do have the gifts that I have. If I think about somebody, I can attract them very easily just by sending energy their way mentally, and they'll pop up in a couple days or so. And I think the same thing happens with me, meaning like I can feel when people are thinking about me because they'll just pop into my energy out of nowhere. And so I think I now attribute that to people thinking about me and sending me their mental psychic energy. Question number 5 is, why do twin flames experience separation? So me personally, I feel like you need that separation because that connection is just so intense. It's so intense that it's scary. Like I said, I felt like I was in a movie. It felt like I was in the Twilight Zone, not just a movie, like the Twilight Zone. Like all this weird stuff was happening and I just could not put my mind around it. And when you are used to just living your everyday normal life, when you are thrust into this, it's such an unusual experience that your brain doesn't know how to, like, it does not know how to process it. It's never experienced anything that's this intense. You've never experienced any supernatural experiences like this before, where time stops and those types of things. And so I think it can be just a little bit overwhelming for people, and you need that separation to kind of balance out your energy so that you kind of give your nervous system and your body a chance to get back to some kind of equilibrium, to feel normal again, so it's not feeling like in a state of shock or trauma. That's what I personally think separation is about. And it's also about allowing you to grow and take what you got from that experience and use it as a catalyst to create something better in your life, and to work through that and to figure out what you just experienced and what that was. And it's taken me years and I still reflect on that time, but that time does not have the pull on me. Now I have there's a different marker in my life where I feel like I was even in an even higher vibration, that has been pulling me back. And I think that's interesting because for a long time, that experience was like the height of all of my, just like height of my, not necessarily my spiritual experiences, but just life experience, where I was like, where was I? When was I the most happiest? When was I the most full and just like highest vibration? And it would always be that experience. But now there's a different set point, and it's not, I wouldn't say it's as mystical, but it definitely has a lighter feel to it. It's not as heavy, it's not as dense, and it's just very light and very high vibrational. And I've been really recalling that experience back to me because I'm in a place in my life where I need to recreate a path out of where I currently am. I'm shifting out of where I'm currently am, and that experience is like the high. So I'm calling in that energy, the highest vibration energy I can remember, to help me create the next, or call in the next. The next question is, can twin flames be friends instead of romantic partners? I don't know. I'm not friends with my twin flame. I've never been friends with my twin flame. I've never been physically intimate with my twin flame. No kiss, no hug, no touch. I think I would die if that person touched me. At least in that state. Maybe now I could like handle his energy. I do think that if I met him now, I would just be a little bit more like, because he's technically a stranger. He's technically a stranger who I've had really close encounters with. We've said hello or hey every now and again, but we've never had a sit down conversation. We just had these intense moments, really close interactions. It's not like he's like way over there and I'm just like fantasizing. No, this like we're literally face to face having these coming, like, it's odd. No, we are not friends. However, when I first noticed it was something, he was the one who was kind of creating this thing that was happening inside of me. I heard friend. That was the download I got in my mind. And that's when I became aware of the connection. I've also been told that he's a gray, which, if you are familiar with anything supernatural or like extraterrestrial, a gray is like an alien. And I actually believe in aliens. I also believe that there are hybrid humans that are aliens. Like, I think there's a lot of people walking around who actually have alien DNA in them. I just personally believe that. I do, because I've just met so many interesting people who I feel like they're just so bizarre in their mannerisms and just the way that they just really, they don't look grounded in earth, if that makes sense. They have the energy about them and their mannerisms that it makes me feel like they are like aliens, like they are literally not from this planet. And I heard that he was a gray in my sleep one night, and I don't know if that was whatever this person, whoever said that, downloaded that to me. I don't know if they were joking or whatever, but he might be a hybrid. He's a little odd in the sense that he does seem supernatural to me. When something like that occurred, I don't look at him as human. I don't. It's weird. He's a human, but because of all the weirdness and every time we are in close proximity, the energy that I feel around myself and just around him and everything, it does not feel real. It feels like we're in our own time zone whenever we're in each other's presence. I don't even really know how to describe it, but that every time we have been in each other's presence, I am in this state of like, I'm very loopy and light, like I just got out of a meditation or something. And I'm just kind of like, I'm really relaxed, but I'm also just kind of like loopy. I don't know how to explain it, but that's how the energy feels. And whenever I feel like that, a lot of times that's when we're about to come into union again. So I don't know. Can you be in a romantic relationship with an alien? I don't know. There's actually a show on Netflix. It's about this man. He's an alien living in a human's body. He's like a doctor. I don't know the name of the show, but I will put the picture of the show up. It's kind of like that. That's how some people are to me. Like, I feel like they have this they're just so not here. They're just so not here that I feel like they must be like a hybrid. They have to be. Okay, so question number 7 is, how do twin flames heal each other? I think that twin flames heal each other through that Kundalini experience. I think I have read a little bit upon the Kundalini experience, but I'm a Christian now. Prior to becoming a Christian, when I met this person, I was not a Christian, and I was open to the occult. I didn't practice tarot or anything like that, but I read horoscopes. Like I read my horoscope. I would watch tarot videos all the time on YouTube, all the time. I would never do that now. Um, I liked reading about occult things of the occult and supernatural, because it's fascinating to me. So I do think that I was more of an open vessel. So if he is a gray, it makes total sense that he was able to um, enter me spiritually, because I was more open then. I was more open to those types of things. I'm not now. As a Christian, I'm not. And I don't regret the experience, but there's a level of, when you put someone on a pedestal, like I said, you putting someone on a pedestal like that, almost as if they're God, you're not giving God that much attention. Like, that's a no-no. So I think that he healed me in the sense that he brought to my attention my ability to abandon myself over give of my energy to someone. And he brought to my awareness my tendency to just give of my energy, and to not pour into myself the way that I should be pouring into myself. I should never ever put anyone on a pedestal, no matter how supernatural the experience is. I should never give that to any other human besides myself and maybe a child that I have. So I do think that for me, I healed through this journey, and the tendency to put others on a pedestal above myself. To stop abandoning myself. That's what I feel like the journey has taught me. It's also taught me about emotional control. It's also taught me about codependency, and it's also taught me about the different things that trigger me into a poverty mindset. But most importantly, it's about putting people on a pedestal and self-abandonment. Healing the self-abandonment wound. Okay, so the next popular question online is, what happens after twin flames reunite? I don't know. Every time that we have encountered each other, which I do call it, is a sort of reunion, I do tend to have hints that it's going to happen. Prior to our last encounter, which I said was a couple years ago at a coffee shop, happened at the beginning of the year. It was like February. But in December of that year, I discovered Bobby Caldwell. This song, I don't even remember how this song came to my attention, but it was that song, What You Won't Do for Love. It dropped into my spirit. That's what it was. So during the time that the year prior to our last encounter at the coffee shop, I was getting a lot of messages with songs. That's one way that Spirit speaks to me, through songs. Like, I'll be asleep, and then a song will, like, the lyrics to a song will download into my mind as I'm sleeping. And then I'll wake up and I'll write down the song, or I'll have to Google it. And some songs, it's like songs that I'm not even like, that are not even on my radar. So I know it's not something that's coming from my own, you know, just my own listening to music. It's songs. Sometimes it's songs that I would never even listen to because I don't necessarily like the song, but the lyrics pop up to my head, and then I'll go read the lyrics, and it's like a message within the lyrics. So the song that was downloaded to me in December was Bobby Caldwell's "What You Won't Do," and I became obsessed with it because I loved it so much, and I didn't realize it was a white man, and that was so, like, such a big deal to me, that soulful singer was this white man, and I had always envisioned that he was a black man. But the key lyrics to that song were what is it? I bet you wonder where I've been, a search to find the love within. I came back to let you know, got a thing for you, and I can't let go. I mean, how is that not like perfect for like a twin flame situation, you know? The coming together and the separation, and the coming together and the separation. This is a song that I was obsessed with in December. I had no idea that I was going to encounter him in February. And I started listening to other Bobby Caldwell songs, and I became obsessed with his music for a little while because I didn't realize that so many people, so many famous rappers had sampled so much of his music. If you look into his catalog, he's got some good music, and he's not like a well-known artist. Like there's even like videos on YouTube of people watching his video for What You Won't Do for Love for the first time, and like they're in shock that he's a white man. Like there's a whole category of YouTube videos of people watching that video and finding out that he's a white man singing that song. But if you look at his catalog, he also has so Tupac sampled that song, right? The song is great on its own, but Tupac sampled it. And then Biggie has one. Biggie has a couple. I don't know if Tupac sampled a few. I'll drop the names of the song somewhere on the screen so that you can check it out yourself. But there's another one, My Flame. He has a song called My Flame. Mm-hmm. My flame, how long since you've been away? So I was listening to all these songs, but mostly What You Want to Do for Love is the one that I was really, really, really playing on repeat for like a good couple months. And then he appeared, and I was like, okay, it makes sense that I've been feeling this way. Well, I've been feeling this way because I was feeling that loopy, lovey, like woo in the clouds type feeling. And that's usually when we come into union again. But that's what happened. And when I reunited with him again, I call that a reunion. But I don't know. I don't know what happens when you reunite. You like actually have a relationship together. There's people on the YouTube you can look up twin flame couples. I first discovered or decided that this was my twin flame, I was watching Lee and Sherry on YouTube. And the reason why they made sense to me is because it's all about those supernatural experiences. I remember she said the first time they kissed, it felt like time stopped and they could see the raindrops falling. And I imagine it's something like in the Matrix where like time slows down and you can see them individually, like, because that's really what it feels like when time stops. And their story and how she described all the weird stuff that was happening, how she could taste when he was eating food, that's how I knew it was not an ordinary connection. There's a lot of people on YouTube who claim to be twin flames, and I just never resonated with their stories because to me it was too romantic in a sense. Lee and Sherry, I think they had their little romantic thing, but a lot of hers was a lot of drama. And then she did have a lot of weird supernatural stuff happening in her life. And that's what made me believe that they were true twin flames, because I've never had this experience with anyone else. I've never, ever, ever been able to receive messages auditorily and telepathically, and just all the weird supernatural stuff that I've experienced since that encounter. Like I've never had that prior. And so they were the ones that I binge watched on YouTube to kind of understand the connection. But I don't necessarily think that everyone is meant to come together. I don't really care if I come together in a relationship with him. It's not important to me. I don't want to give him that much power over my life and happiness, I guess you could say, because then I'll be sitting here waiting to live my life, and I just can't do that for anybody. But that's, I don't know what happens if you reunite with your twin flame. I don't even care if you do reunite with your twin flame. All I care about is that you're free to live the life that you choose to live, and that you're not sitting around obsessed about a person who you can't control because they do have free will. To touch on free will, I know there's a lot of people who make these videos about attracting your specific person, your SP, and all this kind of stuff. And I did a video recently telling you what it feels like when someone is trying to manifest you and trying to make you their specific person. And because I've experienced it, it gave me a perception of how I must have felt to him when I was sending him all that energy. And it almost was embarrassing because I was like, oh my God, like I was doing that with him. And I bet he just felt like he had no choice but to conform. But at the same time, he would break free from it. And I'm sure that it almost felt like I was just pushing too much energy on him. Like I was just doing too much. Like I was just doing way too much. And I even received messages when I was sending a lot of energy his way, and I received a lot of messages stating that I needed um, to stop pushing him, to stop doing that. Um, I have received messages from his higher self, because that's what it is. You're receiving the messages from the higher self, and I've received so many, and those messages led me to realize I need to stop this. I need to stop this and live and let this man go. So I don't know what's going to happen if y'all will reunite. It's not important. What's important is that you learn the lessons that this connection is trying to teach you. Okay, guys, we finally made it to the last question. I'm sure you're super excited. This one is, can twin flames be in a toxic or unhealthy relationships? Absolutely. I think twin flame relationships usually are super toxic because of the supernatural experiences that you have and the limerence that you have for this person, you are willing to overlook the fact that they might not even be showing real true interest in you, or they're pushing you away. Like, you should not try to force a relationship just because this person made time stop, or or because all this weird supernatural stuff happened. Like, you shouldn't try to force something that someone, like, for a woman especially, I think women need to hear this, but you need to be with someone who really wants to be with you. And when you're with that person will make it very clear that they want to be with you. There won't be any hesitation. You won't have to play the games. There won't be any push and pull. That's not natural, and that's not healthy for a relationship, period. So I don't think that you should accept it for your twin flame relationship. Accept that you have a twin flame, but accept that it might not be romantic. Could it be romantic in the future? Absolutely. But that is not your decision. That is for the universe to orchestrate for you, and you have to let that go. In the meantime, work on pouring into yourself and making your life being as romantic as you possibly can to yourself. Treat yourself the way you would want your spouse or whoever you end up with to treat you. That's what you should be focusing on. I think people who have limerence for a specific person, they are more likely to have unhealthy relationships, because the fact that you're having this obsession about this person is showing that you have misplaced your energy. You have misplaced your energy and given this person power over you. And this is what you are supposed to be healing from. It is that tendency to abandon yourself and give away your power. So to answer the question, can twin flames be in a toxic or unhealthy relationship? Absolutely. I think the journey itself is meant to awaken you to all of the toxicity that you have inside of you and how you give your power away and misplace your energy. So that is my responses to the top 10 twin flame questions asked on the internet. And I really hope that you took away some wisdom from this video. If you did, be sure to drop what you learned in the comment section so that other people who come to the video can immediately pick up on that wisdom and knowledge, because I feel so sorry for anyone who is still stuck in that limerence stage. I call it the limerence stage because it really truly is just limerence. Let the person go, let them go. And if you are in a stage where, like, you're being bombarded with their energy and their thoughts of them, it could literally be them sending you energy. I would just say allow it, but don't interact with it, meaning don't send it back. I don't know. I don't know if I should tell you that. I'm not going to tell you that. I would say allow it. Yes, I'm going to say allow it, but don't send it back. Because you know what? If you want a relationship with this person, they're going to have to come to you correctly. They're going to have to show up in your life. They're going to have to contact you, email you, whatever it takes. Pick up the phone and call you, set a date like a real human, like a normal relationship. Even though the twin flame connection is not normal, if they want to have a normal relationship with you in the 3D, in the real world, they're going to have to behave like a normal person. Otherwise, if you want to be strung along with the energetic cord that they have on you and you're happy with that, fine, live your life. But me personally, I don't have time for that no more. I've wasted too many years of my life dealing with that. And now that I'm on the other side of that, it's just like, you know what? If the universe orchestrates it, it will. If not, I'm good. I will reflect on what I learned from that experience, because I can't help but reflect up on it. And I will probably remember that person, that their name, thoughts of them will come up every so often. But I won't let it rule my life. It's really a power struggle. It's a power dynamic that you have to overcome. And you have to learn to take back all of your power from this person. You have to take back all of your power so that you can move forward with your life and apply that power and attention to something tangible, to building something tangible in your life. But that is all I have for you. I hope this video was helpful. If you could do me a favor, give it a thumbs up, because I want everyone who is dealing with the twin flame dilemma situation to find this video and learn the lessons that I've learned, and to be set free from the cycle, the painful cycles, the mentally tormenting cycles that can be the twin flame journey. And I just pray that you come back to yourself. As I mentioned, I'm a Christian, so no, I will not be worshiping any man. I will not be sending my energy over to any man. Me and God first, me and God first. That keeps me centered, that keeps me from abandoning myself. And knowing that even when I do get the psychic pulls from this person, they will never, ever, ever win. I have regained my center and my power, and I love it. I love it here. I love it here now. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, and I will see you next time. Bye.